Hello everyone, my name is Paulus and I'm glad to present you our team's solution to the Bicker AG's case. But first, let me briefly introduce the team. We are a team of four, all master students from the University of St. Gallen. So please meet Nelly, Piyush, myself Paulus and Hank. And now let me give the floor to Piyush.
To strategically leverage Bicker's competitive advantages and tap opportunities in the emerging Latin American economies, we looked at the various available options in order to choose the three best possible markets for Bicker. To do a comparative analysis of the given markets based on the data in the Zurich Risk Room, we decided to develop a scoring model based on the CAGE framework to identify the potential risks involved with expanding into each of the markets. To efficiently utilize the CAGE framework, we looked at the various risk categories and then grouped them into the CAGE categories as deemed fit. We assigned the weights for each of the distances in the CAGE framework and realized that the administrative and economic distances of these markets from Bicker's home markets pose the highest risk, and thus they were given the maximum weightages. The cultural and geographical risks, however, were almost similar for all the assessed markets, hence cancelling out any particular advantageous position for any of these markets. We also realized the need for a fifth factor not covered by the CAGE framework, the market potential of the countries in question. As the profitability of a market is one of the foremost questions for any international market expansion, we decided to give it a significant weightage in our scoring model. We find that Mexico, Brazil, and Colombia are the countries with the lowest risk values for Bicker to enter. The importance of market potential can be seen in the fact that though Uruguay scored the lowest risk value among all the countries, the scarcity of a possibly profitable market led it to be less favorably placed than the other countries under evaluation. Now, to answer the question regarding risk mitigation, I'll hand over to Nelly.
So, the second part of our task revolved around identifying risks that are potentially very high but can still be mitigated. And so we looked at the risks across the three geographies that are higher than the world average. And we saw that the patterns are quite similar across Colombia, Brazil, and Mexico because of their geographical and cultural closeness. However, most of the risks are quite complex and dependent on external forces and external stakeholders. And because of that, we decided to focus on only a few of them. So, to give you an illustration of some of the measures that we would suggest to mitigate these risks, with crime and organized crime, we would work along three dimensions. First of all, analytical mitigation, meaning introducing analytical tools to track stock movements. Physical mitigation, involving, on the one hand, training employees on the importance of safety, and on the other hand, enlisting security guards. And thirdly, appropriate choice of location, as crime levels are seen to vary quite significantly according to the different regions. So the next example deals with arbitrary governmental regulations and custom procedures which pressure employees to involve themselves in to corrupt practices. And for that, we suggest three tools. First of all, introducing a corporate anti-corruption program to educate employees. Second of all, intensifying due diligence practices of suppliers and business partners. And thirdly, incorporating potential delays into the planning processes to alleviate the pressure.
For the final question, we've identified areas where further due diligence is required to make a market entry decision. For the sake of time, let me emphasize issues 1, 3, and 5. You may read about our full analysis on the slides and in the respective notes. Because the risk room was developed to assess risks for Zurich Insurance and its clients, it only addresses one part of the market entry equation. Following the portfolio perspective, companies need to assess the potential rewards for each country and balance these with the risk estimates. With respect to risk, one has to be aware of the fact that the risk room estimates country averages of risk. This means that intra-country variation may be substantial and could lead to suboptimal market entry decisions. As a result, companies that intend to only enter urban areas should double-check whether the country risk averages are reasonably valid for urban areas as well. Although the risk room covers some areas of culture, users are not made aware of risk arising from cultural distance to their home country or corporate culture. This would be possible by inserting a reference culture to which all prospective countries can be measured. Additionally, users should utilize frameworks such as the Uppsala model of internationalization and Hofstede's cultural dimensions theory.
Thank you very much for your attention. We truly hope that you enjoyed our presentation, and should you want any additional information on the weights, assumptions, or the model used, you may look into appendices.